ומי מבני משפחתך בעשור האחרון מאנשי עסקים בעלי הון.
הדבר הזה שהוא מטורף בסדרות בסדרי עולם, ומנסים כאן להפעיל ראש ממשלה על שטויות.
This case, the facts are really simple. The Prime Minister and his wife were getting gifts. And on the other side, Netanyahu did favors.
חייבים למצוא דרך כדי לגמול על מה אתה רוצה לגמול לרוע.
Government officials are not allowed to take gifts. This is corruption.
The police, they investigated everybody. What did you give? What did you get?
Champagne, cigars, שרשרת, טבעת.
Sarah Netanyahu is very important. Both of them never surrendered, never compromised.
Decide to believe that they are untouchable.
After the catastrophe of the 7th of October, the war became another instrument to stay in power.
When people serve for too long, it gets into their head.
The indictment made him dependent on the extreme right in Israel.
He is now captive to their whims.
שטויות.
He put all Israel in turmoil.
Netanyahu is the architect of chaos.
He survived in a state of war. He survived in a state of instability.
It's not a cover-up. He tried to kill the system.
Nobody is above the law.
אתם זוכרים את התשורה הזאת מהסנדק? Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
The only place you can go to watch it is the direct website. The people who actually did the documentary, it was taken down from Amazon. It was taken down from the other streaming sites that it was on due to a hard push from Bibi and his cronies that, so it was taken down.
Wow.
Hey, shalom, gents. How you guys doing today? Can you guys hear me?
Shalom, elder brother.
Hey, how you guys doing today? It's good to see you guys now.
Hey, brother Cleo, brother.
Yes, sir.
Brother Ahazi is here. I don't know if you remember, he was in front of the United Nations. Well, say shalom, bro.
Shabbat shalom, Ma.
Hey, Shabbat shalom, brother. How you doing? How you been?
I'm alive.
You should be doing better than that. It's our turn. It's our time.
Yeah, he did. He came back from Egypt March? February? Yeah, so he just got back to the Snakes about a couple months ago.
How was it in Egypt?
It was good till the salary wasn't. Went from $2,600
What's that mean?
a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's wild.
So what y'all brothers think?
Oh man, well, this is a hotbed topic for me. I saw a little bit about what they talk about with respect to censorship. Okay, so I want to ask the panel, and Shalom Banya, hope you're well. I want to ask everybody on the panel, what do they believe happened to Israel during this 12-day war? What they're calling it, Israel versus Iran, the recent 12-day war, and then also think about why it was stopped.
Yo, peace and blessings, man.
Hey, peace, bro. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, man. What I think is Israel started some stuff that they didn't expect, would really have the repercussions that it had. Iran is not like some little small bird. It's just that ain't Palestine. They got guns, they got missiles, and they got the capabilities to really smash on them.
Why is what happened to Israel under such censorship? In other words, you can hear what happened in Iran, but how come they're not broadcasting what happened in Israel in this 12-day event? What happened to Israel in this 12-day war or this 12-day event? Was Israel okay? Did they just suffer a bloody nose, or did they just suffer a cut on their ankle?
Their assumption was that they was going to, smash on Iran, drag America into it, demoralize Iran, right? But Iran don't have the type of capabilities like Palestine. They was able to strike back on them excessively and forcefully. Now, the problem with that is Israel want to have this perception across the globe that they untouchable, that for lack of better words, they God's people, so nobody can't really do nothing to them. So there's been a lot of media blackout based off of what Iran's been able to do to them and all that type of stuff. So I think that they got humbled, for lack of better words. They got humbled and they got smacked. They got smacked and now they're going back to the drawing board because they wasn't able to do what they thought they was able to do to Iran.
Remember, Bibi doesn't want to go to prison, so he needs to start a war and keep war going so that nothing ends and he don't get locked up.
Okay, but if Bibi doesn't have a country or a nation, then what does that really mean?
Exactly.
I mean, he did get what was the warrant that was issued by the ICC?
Yeah, we talked about that some months ago. Matter of fact, I don't know, it may have been longer than that.
Because Russia didn't go to the BRICS meeting in Brazil because Brazil would have to lock him up because he has a warrant out for his arrest.
Who?
Putin. Brazil just had a BRICS summit. Putin did not go because if he went, he'd be arrested.
Yeah, but what trial under the ICJ did Putin get convicted of that were like? As a matter of fact, we'll come back to that.
Okay, so yeah. Let's focus on this because there's some points I do want to make, but I want to get where everyone is with that. And Vanya, I appreciate that because you said something that was very, very important in that they were actually humbled in this exchange. But the media blackout of the exchange is what's fascinating to me, because you don't know unless you research. You don't know what exactly happened.
Yeah, because they got this skewed public perception of them,
right?
And
that they're undefeated, that they're undefeatable.
To the forefront,
right?
A lot of things are coming to the forefront. The genocide and everything that's already been out there, but you're actually starting to see people real thoughts towards them in regards to the behavior. Don't nobody care about them being destroyed now. You know what I mean? So now it's like you can sense somewhat of desperation from them. Please come help us. But everybody's like, I ain't trying to hear that. Y'all genociding people over there. Y'all ain't even the real Jews.
Yeah, but hold on though. The point that you made earlier was also very critical in that they have an air because of their quote God's chosen people, this air of invincibility, and that has been utterly shattered, completely shattered. Now, if do the other brothers have something else to add to this? Because I want to go into what you may or may not have researched, because during that whole 12-day war sequence, I was up late night watching the bombs fly, and I was watching the destruction literally happen in real time before they pulled the plug on the cameras and whatnot. So if brothers do brothers have anything to add, move, subtract, divide on this thought that we're currently running down?
Yeah. I just wanted to say that I think from the beginning, one of the things that I thought would really kind of determine how this looks going forward was Iran's response to what Israel did. And I thought that was key. And I think that the response, even though it caused major damage to Israel, that wasn't really published, for the masses, for the public masses to see around the world, the response was still muted from Iran. And I think it was muted for a reason. Like the whole thing, the reason why you know, the United States stepped in and it was less of a threat to Iran and more of a plea for Iran to stop. Don't strike back the way you can strike back. Let's do this another way. There's a lot of things I think we are not privy to, that we didn't see, that went on behind the scenes to squash this as much as possible. It's obvious that Israel wants to start a war. Netanyahu wants to start a war in that region with all those countries. And the fact that Iran didn't take it all the way tells me that somebody held Iran back. Somebody said, hey, wait, chill out. Don't strike the way that you can. Like chill out. And that had a lot to do with America. It looks like America sent the big threat and, you know, bombed them. But I think that was more of a deal with Iran to say, hey, look, we're going to bomb this. You know, you can bomb this. And then let's just chill. That's what I think.
Hey, bro, but I think there's a lot of theatricals involved here, right? Yeah, I don't think they want to start a war. You ever heard the notion nobody want to fight, everybody just want to beat somebody up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want to start a war. They just want to they just want to establish dominance in that region, you know. So them striking Iran, they did that with the hopes that, you know, America was gonna get into a war with Iran, right? And then they was gonna slowly ease themselves out of it, right? And then still maintain the whole thought process that Israel can't be touched through America doing that to them. But they didn't want a war. They didn't want what's happening to them now or what happened. And then the theatricals about what type of damage America was able to do to their nuclear sites and all that, and in the blackout with the media, what Iran has been able to do to Israel. It's all to skew public perception of their invincibility.
Oh boy, I just want to make a comment before you go in. I hope y'all recording this, because this once again proves that those Saltoftheearth boys is way ahead of the curve. Go ahead, bro.
I do agree that Israel wanted America to fight the war. And that's the thing, too. It's kind of like a 152 takeout when we try to distinguish the two separately. They're just white people all together. But because the world plays it out like you got two separate places that's allied, we'll go that direction. Now, I agree that Israel wants the United States to take the lion's share of fighting Iran. And I think ultimately they will. We will keep poking at that to get the United States to go in that direction. Trump wasn't ready to do that yet. Israel wants a war with Iran. That's the whole point of going at it. I think the United States wants the war. I think Israel wants the war badly for a couple of reasons. Number one, the prophetic issue. Israel does believe, or Netanyahu, they do believe that they have a Messiah that's coming, and they believe that war with Iran will push that forward. The motivations of the United States is strictly financial and because of BRICS. I think a lot of nations is joining BRICS, and it's devaluing the dollar every day. The United States want to do what it did. Israel wants the United States to do what it did in Iraq and Afghanistan. Get a stranglehold on pieces of that region, to get a stranglehold on some of the biggest oil reserves, and to also to steal a lot of wealth and gold. They have to do that because other nations are going into a currency with BRICS that is not based off the petrodollar or the dollar period. They're going to have to force that war, or United States and Israel will go to third world status, because they can't stay a financial and economic power if the dollar is devalued. And that happened when Saudis said, hey, you know what? We're going to stop exclusively taking the petrodollar to buy oil. That was really why a lot of countries stayed with the dollar. The dollar was the petrodollar was buying all the Saudis' oil reserves. They wasn't taking anything else. The Saudis have stopped that now. So it's of necessity that they war with Iran and to get a stranglehold on that region, not just for the oil, not just for the gold, but they have to do it fast because economically they cannot afford for other countries to keep going in the direction of dealing with BRICS, and more countries is going every day in the prophetic issue with Israel. They are trying to push forth, bringing their so-called fake Messiah.
Plus, that opens up the border for anyone to cross from Iran all the way to Israel if they wanted to.
Right.
But here's the question though: isn't that kind of inevitable? I mean, they're trying to do that and establish that dominance quick, but it's already too late. It's already too late. They don't have the ability to change anybody's mind on that now. You know, you got too many allegiances going on too now, just based off of them doing what they did. That's why they pulled back. Like, think about it. When Trump ordered that strike on Iran, it was supposed to, he said, now let there be peace. As if like to say, if you do something else, then we gonna step all the way in there. And then he went from that to, please let's negotiate the peace, right?
Okay, so why did he do that? Why did he do that? Why do you think he did that?
I think he did that because this strike didn't have the same perception that they thought it was going to have. It didn't have
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And then what that also does is that all of those bases that are there in not only Africa but in what is so-called the Middle East are in jeopardy, 100% jeopardy, because Iran can hit anywhere over there. And so you're talking about thousands of U.S. Army men, infantrymen, and servicemen getting obliterated, 100%.
And then you add this to it too. You add this to it that other nations that's in league with Iran was saying, look, since you want to do that, yeah, we'll give them a nuke.
Yeah.
Russia, we'll give them a nuke.
That right here is one of the most important.
China.
Right there. You hit the nail on the head with that. That's one of the most.
Pakistan has said that. China has said that. Russia has said it. North Korea has said it. So now, if you guys would indulge me, and again, I hope you guys are recording this, because again, this is a testament to you brothers and the information that you guys have seen from a spiritual perspective, right? So I'm going to start here. Not only did Israel get humbled, but a third of their nation was destroyed, but you don't hear that on the news. Now, Israel is very, very small. Israel's probably the size of New Jersey. What's his name? Iran has 100 million people. It's probably 100 times the size. So you going in trying to pinprick bomb, that's not really going to do anything. And the Kabuki theater of you so-called destroying their 60% of enriched uranium that they had already removed, and the centrifuges can be rebuilt is a non-issue. Plus the fact that we don't know what the damage was, and if I'm Iran, I'm saying I'm doing Sun Tzu. I'm gonna say, yeah, y'all destroyed them. Good job, whether you destroyed them or not. So let me just quickly run down what the news media is not reporting. So I'll start with key Israeli targets that were hit by Iranian strikes. We'll start with the military. The Gilead military base was hit. The Tel NDF air base was hit. A camp in Nazar, Camp Zippoporit was hit, and Camp Gilead was hit. The IDF intelligence and logistics centers were hit, including the Kiryat. Now, the Kiryat, for those of you that don't know, that's our equivalent of the Pentagon. So that's like if our Pentagon got hit and destroyed and obliterated. Theirs got hit, destroyed, and obliterated. Okay? And that's their military intelligence. And Camp Moshe Dayan, that was destroyed as well. Medical and humanitarian facility. The Soroka medical facility, it got hit by a Sedge-2 missile. And I saw that building. That building was obliterated and destroyed. The Weizmann Institute of Science, that was their military, where their military labs and experiments and nuclear scientists go on and do what they do. That was destroyed.
The Gav Yam Negev Advanced Technological Park in Beersheba, that was destroyed. Now we can talk about the government and utility infrastructure. The Ministry of Interior Industry Building, destroyed. Their oil field, the Bazan Oil Refinery, destroyed. The Haifa Power Plant was hit, destroyed. The Wastewater Treatment Facility, destroyed. The Echo Power Station, destroyed. Okay, not only, and I believe they only have 2 ports. Both of those ports were destroyed. Who's the biggest shipper that you guys will see their containers? They said, no, we're not doing business in there. So their economy is plummeting. So let me give you an additional context. Go ahead.
You talk about those 20 million barrels that's supposed to go through the Strait of Hormuz?
No, not those. Not and one of those ships was an Israeli ship that who this sank. That the who this sank, right? Not talking about that. I'm talking about the name of the shipping container company. You see their name emblazoned on all the shipping containers on the side. What's that?
Starts with the letter M.
Yes, it does. I can't remember it though. Exactly. They pulled out. They said we can't do business here. They pulled out.
Yeah, the brother's gonna look that up real quick.
Okay, cool. So you've got you've got all of these major things that have been hit, and I've got receipts to all of that. But now let me submit to you also that, and here's what doesn't come out in the news: there were 30,000 damaged structures that happened in Israel. That was the total scope. 30,000. And I'm looking at the numbers right now. I'm looking at the different cities.
Got the name.
It's a Danish company, Maersk.
Yes. Them. They pulled out. They said, "Hell no, we can't do business at your ports because our ships are going to get sank." Now the who this, or what y'all call the Houthis. I call it who this because it's like, who is this here causing all this ruckus, right? They have sank 2 ships, but what Trump doesn't tell you why he pulled his muscle out is because any ships that were in the Red Sea area are subject to the Houthis, and the Houthis just now started using some very, very impressive armament that they haven't been using before, and they're throwing them at Israel right now. Okay, now going back to Iran and what they did and how they were doing, I was watching this in real time as real time can get, and you would see them. They would throw drones, and then they would throw these old school missiles at them, depleting the THAAD missile system, David Sling, Arrow, and then the other one that they have, because it's like a 4-layered system that Israel has. That Iron Dome is consisted of 4 layers: David Sling, Arrow 1 and 2, THAAD, and another one that I can't remember. So what the plan that Iran had was, we'll throw our old generation missiles at it and deplete it, but then we'll mix in some of these hypersonics. Now you can see the old missiles coming into the atmosphere and coming in, and they're a little bit slow, but if they land, they're gonna do some damage, right? But when they threw these hypersonics, man, and the hypersonic hit the Kiryat, and that's the Israeli Pentagon. When the hypersonic would hit, the hypersonic came down like a lightning bolt from God. And it was that much faster than everything else, where you would see these other missiles and drones coming in. But when this lightning bolt from God came down, it would come down so fast that you'd be like, and then when it hit, you would have a few seconds, and then when you get the shock wave, that's where you get a lot of damage at, right? The shock wave would be impressive. So going back to what one of the brothers was saying, I believe it was you, Banya, they only used 1st and 2nd generation missiles. And I think Najee said something to this effect too. They weren't even throwing out their heavy stuff. And this is going to sound crazy as hell, but Iran has one of the most advanced missile capabilities on the earth, and that's what Israel didn't account for. To my brother Eliashaw's point, yes, they want the greater Israel. They do want to do that, but and they are waiting on their Messiah. Because I can remember old school. You look for Netanyahu talking to Rabbi I forget his name. He's the one that's always been needling him, and he's on the other side of hell right now. Huh?
His name was Reeby.
Yeah, Reeby, but yeah, that's another term for rabbi. But his last name, I can't think of it. It's not Smotrich, but
was it Shmuley?
No, not him. Older guy. He passed away too.
Yeah, he just recently passed away. Yeah. You could see pictures of him. You could see pictures and videos of him, a young Netanyahu, instilling that in him. So that's instilled in him the greater Israel. Now, you can't have a greater Israel with the real big book people walking around. That's impossible for you to do. Your fake Messiah can come or not come. But I would ask, where's your fake Messiah right now when you just lost 30,000 structures and the world can't even say that? You don't even know that happened. So I would ask, where's your Messiah at? Because surely he would have stopped those missiles. Surely he would have done that.
Hey, you know what else, yo? Just based off of what you were saying, there was I can't remember what day it was, but there was some information in the news talking about how America basically supplies Israel with their missile defense projectiles, right? And Israel was running low on those things. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you think about them throwing them old school missiles at them, they was just depleting their missile defense system. Right. And America's like, yo, we can't give you all our missile defense projectiles because we need them for ourselves. So it's like, yo, they throwing that out. What is gonna come down to with Iran and Israel? It'll come down to manpower. And we already know Iran, they got more manpower than Israel do. And for the same reason that Iran's not striking Israel with nukes, Israel can't strike them with nukes or major bombs because the other people that's surrounding those areas, the other nations that's surrounding those areas, that's just gonna cause everybody to pull in on the war after them. So they basically lost this. It's over. It's nothing they can do. They don't got any way of defending themselves. And then when it come down to manpower, Iran got way more manpower than them. America is not willing to give them all of their missile defense system. They don't have. We did. Yeah, we don't. They don't got no recourse because if we give up all our defense system, then that's going to leave us open for attack. That's going to leave us open for which more nations want to attack us. You know?
Right. So, well. To your point, and that's a great point because the bases that we have that are deployed, from what I understand, they don't necessarily have missile defense systems deployed. And furthermore, so manufacturing, in order for you to ramp up and produce those missiles, the missiles that support David's Sling, Arrow, and THAAD, the missiles for THAAD, and that's the one where it gets the hypersonic missiles or attempts to get the hypersonic missiles. Those missiles cost $12 million a pop. And I think the ones for David Sling and Arrow cost like $1 million, and then one cost like, whatever it costs. The missiles that Iran was firing that depleted all of these systems, I believe only cost like $100,000 each. And so do the numbers. And then from a manufacturing ramp-up production standpoint, I had the numbers in my head, but you don't make more than a few hundred of these because you don't have the manufacturing ramp up to do that. Whereas the Iranians have been preparing for this for 20 years. So imagine that you've developed your own missile delivery systems and you've been preparing for this day for 20 years. How many missiles do you actually have stocked up? And that's another thing that's not being necessarily thought about. But at the same time, it is because Donald Trump said, hey, you know what? We're going to pull our ships out of there. And we're not fucking with who this, because who this will sink our carriers, who this will sink our destroyers. That's why they're not there. And quite frankly, U.S. entering the war is of no consequence. The only impact that the U.S. could potentially do, which would be a meat grinder, is to send infantrymen into that meat grinder called Iran. You got 100 million people in Iran that's ready to all 100 million are ready to fight whoever comes in there. So you're not gonna be successful with a ground invasion. The only thing that you can do is do these drone hits, which they've already captured most of these people that were there. Mind you, that Mossad had been planning for 10 years this attack. So it's not just, oh, we just plant these drones yesterday. No, they've been planning this for at least 10 years.
I don't know the validity.
So if you capture all the Mossad agents and remove those out of the way, and in other words, in short, Israel's in trouble, which I thank the Father for.
Figure the different countries that are in the way now don't really have governments.
So, the brother will go ahead and say what you was trying to say, bro.
One of the brothers in the land, Free, if any of you know Kenyan or Free.
That's the brother who did the documentary on where the real Jerusalem is.
Right. Apparently, there's the Black Flag Army in Khorasan, which is in Iran. And you figure what? Iraq has fallen, and Syria is kind of not stable neither. Any army can now just travel freely like they did back in the days of what? Nebuchadnezzar and you figure Persia. They can now walk from Iran to Israel if they wanted to.
Yep. That's a great point. That's
all
awesome
that
point
follows
because
isn't that I think it's the prophecy of the Mahdi, their the Islamic figure that's supposed to appear on the scene.
Yep, exactly. Everybody got somebody that's to appear. Now what's great about the point you just made, brother, is that the Houthis are proven and so hard. You have also seen it ramp up in the attacks from Gaza, the Palestinians, the I forget the name of the group, Hamas and Hezbollah. They've ramped up their attacks all of a sudden. And now, anytime, okay, so here's the crazy thing. Anytime you hear Israel talk about they want peace, that means they're getting their ass whooped.
You remember what they did with the pagers, right? With Hezbollah?
Yep. Yeah, that was wild.
Egypt shook. They was putting blankets over their television. They ain't know what to think.
That was wild. Hey, listen.
But talking about it, Netanyahu is the one who paid Hamas. He's the one who brought Hamas to any level of power by funding them.
But I'm talking about Hezbollah. They made shell companies, sold their commanders these pagers, and waited 10 years to blow them up.
10 years.
I had a 60-minute interview with a dude. They changed his voice and you know, he had a thing over his face. He's like, the world is our stage. We can do what we want. I'm like, yeah.
Same. That went pretty much the same thing Netanyahu said when he said they had the control of Congress.
Oh yeah, he knows it. What other foreign? I was watching something. It's like as far as either Israel's contributions or what trading, they're as big as Chile and Singapore. How often do the Singapore national representatives come and visit the United States? As much as Netanyahu goes in it. And what is this foreign leaders addressing Congress? Because Zelensky did the same thing, asking for money.
You brothers be well, man. This is a great topic because this is my wheelhouse right here. I love this topic right here. But you brothers be blessed.
All right, my man.
All right, brother. Peace, brother.